Hi everybody, Mrs. Hawkins here. Obviously, I'm sure you've seen so much of my face lately, you can't forget who I am. This video is just for you parents. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat short and hopefully informational. Hopefully it'll give you a few ideas and tips of some things that you can be doing at home, things to watch for in your child. And if you have any questions about any of it, you can always email me and we can talk about it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about routine and behaviors first, and then I'm actually going to show you some examples of maybe things you can find around your house, of some work you can put together for your toddlers that hopefully will help you keep them busy during this time that they are at home. So toddlers are very routine. They have a very strong sense of order. And when those things are disrupted for them, behaviorally, it can change how they handle situations. So you may already notice that your toddler is more clingy, more whiny, quicker to have a temper, maybe throwing more tantrums than usual, not listening to what you're saying, and just kind of being somewhat defiant. These are all things that are very normal when a toddler's schedule is as disrupted as it has been over the last couple of weeks. Some ways that we can help that are to try to keep their routine for weekdays as normal as possible. So typically on weekdays, you guys are getting ready for work, they're getting ready for school, everybody's leaving the house, and then they come to the classroom for the day. Right now, their classroom is also in your home, as well as most of your works probably right now are also in your home. So balancing that, I know is very challenging. I'm doing the same thing in my home with all of my kids being home and also having their own routines and schedules that they have to stick to and schoolwork they have to do. So I feel you there. I'm on the same page. So hopefully I can give you some ideas that can help navigate this, even if it's a little bit easier for you, then it will have been worth it. So I think the biggest thing that I will talk about is like their daily routine. Toddlers are very much like very social cue oriented when they are figuring out what's going on for that day. So when they get woke up in the morning, or they wake up in the morning and you're getting ready for work and they're putting their school clothes on and you're talking about going to school, they know that that's a weekday. They know what to expect. Okay, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be with my friends. So they have that idea of how that day is going to go. Now, weekends are a little different. On weekends, maybe we don't get up at the same time. Maybe we stay in our pajamas a couple hours longer, or maybe even the whole day if we're not planning to go anywhere. So those cues are very different. So right now, many of us may be having weekend cues for toddlers every day, which means weekend thoughts and behaviors are still going through your toddler's head. So we want to curb that. So the easiest thing that you can do is to create your same routine Monday through Friday, which would be getting up, they get dressed, they get ready. Maybe you pack their lunch still. Toddlers really love their lunch boxes. So maybe packing their lunch, and having that same routine. Maybe you walk out the door, take a little walk around your block, and then come back inside. All right, well, since we can't go to our regular school today we're going to go to homeschool. But now these cues are the same. They've gotten up, they've gotten ready, they're ready to start their day. And then you can come inside and greet them like, all right, welcome to homeschool. What work would you like to do today? And kind of see what your feedback is for them. Your older ones that are verbal and can tell you will, give you all the information that you need at that point. Some of the younger ones that aren't verbal yet, you will have to, would you like to go and work on your Play-Doh right now? Or would you like to go and read a book? Like giving them kind of options of things they can choose from. Because if you just tell them, go play, go do something, they don't always know exactly what they're supposed to do. And it may be something you don't really want them to do in the first place. So giving them some options of what they can do. Do you want to come and help me, water plants? If this is an option in your house. I imagine that a lot of you have work that you're having to do at home. So having your toddler engaged and working as well can hopefully give you guys, you know, some working side-by-side time. Or if you guys are switching off while one of you is working and one of you is hanging out with your toddler, you know, you can do this with them too. It's also really important to try to keep a modicum of independence for them right now. They're super excited probably to have you guys one-on-one, you know, work with me, play with me, do this with me the whole time. But we also still want them to spend some time working independently. This is something that they do in the classroom every day, working either by themselves or across the table from a friend, but their work is their own. They're doing it on their own. There's one work that they're each doing separately. There's not really like a lot of collaborative work going on within the environment. They might be sitting across from each other and talking to that person, but the work they're doing is actually on their own. It's fine to show them, like if you're setting up a new activity in your home, you can show them, look, this is how we do this. And maybe it's scooping or some activity that you set up. It's fine to give them a lesson and show them how to do it. And then it's like, okay, now it's your turn. And then handing that off to the child. And as the child is doing it, then you completely step back and move away from the picture. Don't step in and try to correct how they're doing an activity. If maybe they're holding the utensil wrong or they're not doing exactly as you've shown them, that's fine. Give them that opportunity to explore it as they've perceived the lesson to begin with. If you start jumping in, oh, no, hold it like this. Oh, no, let me show you again. Then you just break their concentration. And a lot of times once that happens, they're just gonna put it down and they're gonna walk away from it. And then you're gonna be like, oh, well, I thought you wanted to do this. Well, you've just kind of ruined that like new exploration experience for them, and they've kind of just decided to give up and walk away. So giving them that space. So once you've shown them how, now it's your turn, and you're gonna completely step back. They might do it completely different, completely wrong, completely opposite as you've shown them. As long as they're using it appropriately in any way, you just let them do it. Now, if it starts to become inappropriate, now I'm throwing it, I'm eating it, I'm doing like all these things that are definitely not okay, you can step in and be like, oh, I don't remember showing you that we put that in our mouth. Let me show you again. And you can just give the lesson all over again. There's not like a no, stop, don't, correcting them. It's like, oh, I don't remember doing that when I gave you the lesson. Let me show you again. Just to keep them engaged and not feeling like they've been shamed or now I'm in trouble. It's just a learning experience. They're gonna explore it in all different ways, and they're gonna sometimes test what's okay and what's not okay. What happens if I do this? And that's where it's important to then step in at those times. But other than that, don't step in. Same if you have the ability to get a step stool in your kitchen and let your toddlers, you know, wash the dishes after they've had a snack or lunch. This can be a great way to have your toddler engaged for quite a bit of time, just using a sponge or a dish brush and cleaning the dishes, you know, putting in just a little bit of soap and water in there, letting them clean it, and then rinse it. And they might wash those same dishes, you know, 5, 10, 20 times, depending on how long they're standing there. And that's fine. But while they're doing it, we're not interrupting. We're not saying like, oh no, you're gonna, you know, spill some water right here. Oh, look, no, look, you missed a spot on the cup. None of that's happening. It's just letting them wash the dishes. And again, later when they're not watching, you're probably gonna go back and rewash some of those dishes. And that's fine. But you never wanna do it in front of the child, because then it's just like, wait, I already washed those dishes, and they lose all sense of like that they did their work. You've just kind of taken it away from them and said, oh, you didn't do good enough, so now I'm gonna wash it. So if you're gonna rewash them, do it much later when the child is not watching you. But otherwise, you might have a child that will stand up at the sink for long periods of time, and you can give them dishes to wash. Maybe you don't have a stack of dirty dishes, but just give them dishes to wash. Like, oh, this one looks a little dusty. I think we could wash it too. Get those dishes out of your cabinet. You know, make them small. You're not going to hand them, you know, a big giant plate that's so big that they can't even hold it, they're going to drop it. Give them small things, small bowls, small cups, small plates, utensils, and just say, I really need your help to clean these dishes, and give them that sense of importance in that activity, and see how long it goes. And if they create a mess with water, it's just water. It's very easy to clean up. Maybe something that water's landed on will be even cleaner afterwards. Let them get a towel, let them get a mop, let them get whatever it is that they need to dry that space at the end, because they will. And you can just say to them, wow, you really washed a lot of dishes. Oh, but I see that now we have a lot of water here. Can you help me clean that up? And every time they will say yes. But if you approach them like, oh no, look, you made a mess, clean it up. It's a whole different way. And then they're going to be like, no. Because toddlers really don't listen to what we say. They kind of really watch what we do and then model it. So if I'm saying, oh, look, there's this water, can you help me clean it up? And then I start doing it, they want to be right there doing it along with me. So I can just hand them a towel. And this is just now collaborative work. Like, yeah, now we're cleaning up the water. Oh yeah, look, oh, can you get that spot right there? And this has just become a big lesson, a learning experience. And we've cleaned up our mess all at the same time without resistance. So a lot of this comes with how we speak to toddlers and how we give them, the things that we want them to do. And most of the time, just telling toddlers what to do. Hey, go do this. Go put your toys away. Why is this mess here? These things are completely ineffective for toddlers. So it's all about how we talk to them. It's like, oh, I see that your toys are all over the floor. Oh no. That's probably unsafe. If you step on one, you could really hurt your foot. Let's go clean it up. I can help you. And you start like, oh, I'm going to put this one in the basket. Which one are you going to put in the basket? Make it collaborative. Because if you're just ordering them to do it, most of the time you're just going to get no. Or they're going to go over. And I mean, we can always force them, right? Because we're bigger than they are. We're more powerful. We could use our parent power. And we could say like, oh, you're going to clean this up and you're going to do it right now. But toddlers don't respond to that. You could have done this in such a more gentler fashion and just said, oh, look, there's a big mess on the floor over here. That could be dangerous. What if we step on it and we hurt our foot? I'm going to start cleaning it up. Would you like to help me? And make it very animated. And as soon as you start doing it, it's like, oh, look, I'm putting this one in here. Oh, this one goes in this basket. And a lot of it is your facial expressions and how you're doing it. And it's the same way we do it in the classroom. We think, oh, look, these materials really need to get put away. Can you help me do that? And 9 times out of 10, they're ready and willing to come and help us. And then they carry it and put it away. And then you're done. And you've got that done without having this battle with your toddler. So a lot of it is how you frame your speech of things. And then, going into different routines, if it's time to take a nap, or if it's time to go take a bath, or if it's time to eat dinner, whatever those next things are coming, you can approach it the same way. Like, oh, look, it's 12 o'clock. That means it's time for us to eat lunch. We better go get started. And this is just a jump instead of like, oh, go eat your lunch now. It's a very different way of speaking to a child and inviting them. It's not just telling them, we're inviting them. We're really showing them we really want them to come and do something. It's like an invitation instead of an order. And giving them a choice, oh, it's time for your bath. Do you want to walk to the bathroom or do you want me to carry you? Do you want to walk to the bathroom by yourself or do you want to hold my hand? So either way, we're going to the bathroom, but they're choosing how they want to get there. So a lot of times instead of like, oh, you need to go take your bath, let's go. No, I don't want to do that. Instead of, oh, it's time. Do you want to walk or do you want me to carry you? So it's giving them that option. Either way you're getting to the bathroom, but we're hoping that they'll choose to go willingly instead of us having to battle them to get there. Some children are completely willing. They love going in the bath, so it's never an issue. But there are some that are completely resistant. Maybe they're busy what they're focusing on at that time, and they don't want to stop. So, also giving them that minute like, oh, I see you're really busy right now. I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to finish what you're doing, and then we can go take a bath. So they don't really understand how long 5 minutes is. They don't have an understanding of that concept of time. But you have given them a warning. You've let them know that a transition is coming, and now they're prepared. So then it's like, oh, the clock says the 5 minutes is over. Would you like me to help you clean up your activity, or can you clean it up by yourself? And so now we've made that transition. So they can choose. If we're going to help them, that's great. If they want to do it by themselves, they start putting it away. It's like, oh, great. Okay, let's put that away. And now, do you want to walk to the bathroom, or do you want me to carry you? So let's see how those different wordings like can really like speak to your toddler and really stop a lot of those knee-jerk no's. You know, open-ended questions like, do you want to take a bath? Well, the answer is either yes or no, right? So if they say no, what are you going to say if you really wanted them to say yes? So instead, giving them the actual thing that you want them to do, but giving them choices about how they're going to get there. I hope that makes sense. So that's a lot about behavior and choices and routine and things that you can, you know, hopefully help yourself with at home. If you want more detailed information on any of that, we can always talk one-on-one. If you want to give me specific examples of, you know, kind of what you're dealing with your particular toddler, we can talk about that, and I can give you ideas on that. These are kind of general for toddlers as a whole in kind of any age they're in as a toddler. These will typically work, and it's just the activities that will vary. Older toddlers, you know, can do definitely a lot more activities, and younger toddlers are a little more limited in what, you know, you can do at this point and what you can offer them. So now I'm going to go through and show you like examples. I've taken pictures of them, and so that I can show you here on the video, and I'll kind of explain them and kind of give you some other ideas of things that maybe you can put together for them at home that might give you some new activities in your house, some things that do require a little more time and concentration for them to put into it, and activities that offer a lot of repetition. Toddlers are super repetitive. They like doing the same things over and over and over again until they master it. Once they master an activity, they'll rarely go back and do it again. This is why, like, materials at home, like, they're so excited about it at the beginning, and they play with it and they play with it, and then all of a sudden you're like, nah, you never touch this toy anymore. It used to be your favorite. Why don't you play with it anymore? It's because they've mastered it, and now it holds no challenge for them. So that's why materials that offer a lot of repetition and change within the material tends to hold their concentration longer, and they tend to go back to these activities, you know, more and more. And they fall under a category of what we call practical life, which just means practical things that you do in your everyday life. So things like cleaning, whether it's dishes, sweeping, mopping, dusting, folding, practical, right? We all do those things daily in our homes, in our work, in the school, like wherever we are. Food preparation, learning to use utensils, you know, putting things in and out. You know, these are all like different types of practical activities, and they vary from cleaning to taking care of ourselves to taking care of our environment, anything that practically makes sense and practical how we take care of our environment. So that's like what some of these activities hold, and a lot of them you probably don't even realize that you have them in your house, and you could be utilizing them right now while you're at home. So hopefully some of these will help you. And again, reach out to me if you have any more questions, if you want specific ideas. For now, we'll get started. So the first one, I gotta figure out how to switch this over. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna stand here and look at myself. I guess we're gonna go this way then. Can you even see this? I'm totally messing up this video. Okay, I can't figure out how to use my video camera, so I'm gonna stop this video here, and then I'm gonna start a next one that will be a video of the actual materials that I was talking about, and we'll be able to talk about it with you. I apologize for being technology challenged, but I rarely use technology in my daily life in the classroom or at home. So all of this is a new learning experience for me. So I will try to figure out how to do it better next time. But for now, I'm going to say bye on this video and hope that this information was helpful. And then I will start up on the next video with the actual examples of the materials. All right, guys, thanks.